Hello, this is a binary calculator that I have created. As you can see, you're going to input your number in decimal first, and then it's going to convert it into binary. Then the binary numbers, they're going to be added up through this circuit right here. The binary numbers are going to be put back into this top circuit, which is going to decode it and give you a decimal result. And then finally, the decimal result is going to come over to this display right here and display what the final added number is. Right now we have 1 through 9 on the top, 1 through 9 on the bottom. Let's select, how about 15? Let's select 9 on top, and then 6 on the bottom. Oh no. So 9 plus 6. Then we're going to press this button right here. As you can see, we display 15. Now let's see how this works. So as you can see, on this bottom circuit right here, we're going to have 6, and on the top one, we're going to have 9. 9 is going to light up 8, and it's going to light up 1. As you can see, we're then taking this output and we're going to feed it into a bunch of circuits back here that are going to add two things together. If the two things are on, like let's say we're adding up a 1 and a 1, it's going to give us the output of 2 in this torch right here, which is plugged into another one. It's 2 plus 2. That's the main idea, is that we're going to be adding the numbers up and then taking all of the outputs and putting them back into this circuit. Now right here, this is 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. So if this is lit up, it's going to mean it's 16 plus all of these numbers. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this binary. So right now, 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 4 is 7, plus 8 is 15. So we're going to take all of these outputs. We have right here the torches and repeaters that will let one line turn off because they're arranged in a way that every single combination has exactly one output. This torch is then turned on. It sets a signal right here. This signal up top is for the 1 in the tens place, which you can see right there. And then it's going to push down a block. This block is going to disrupt the signal from this repeater because this line, when turned on, displays a 5. As you can see, we're then going to go back here. Let's put in a different number. Let's just say, maybe let's display an 8. As you can see, we select an 8. No addition is going to be happening. It's going straight through the circuit. As you can see, we have 8 right there, 8 right here. Let's add, maybe, what's a good addition we can do? Let's do 9 plus 9. Let's get 18. Saying 19. Let's do it one more time. 18. There we go. Sometimes you have to press it a couple of times. That's just because the updates for these pistons sometimes is a little bit off, and sometimes the timings can mess with each other. But overall, this is a pretty simple circuit, I would say. It's really big and complicated just because of you have to code every single possibility in, and that does take a while. But overall, this circuit wasn't too hard to make. I've made a couple other ones. As you can see right here, I have a small one where you can really see the binary addition and work. So as you can see, we have 1. If we add another 1, it's going to give us 2. We added 2, it moves right over. So you can kind of see how that kind of stuff works. I'll replace that later. But this is a simple display where I can just display the number that I want to. As you can see, it keeps those 2 on. And then let's add 32. No, we can't add 32, but we can add 16 to it. All right. This is another calculator that I tried to make where you input in binary and then it outputs in decimal. This worked by, everything was pretty simple with the 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 was the only tricky part because we had to split up 3 into a 1 and a 2, as you can see right here. But this one sadly does not work. As you can see, I'll put in, let's say, this is going to be 5 plus 2. No, let's do 5 plus 6. Let's get 11. We're going to turn on the circuit. This locks everything in. Turn it back off. And as you can see, it's only displaying 8 right now. That is because the circuit is broken. If we go look at the binary, it does still say 8. It doesn't say 11 as it's supposed to. I just didn't wire it correctly. As you can see, this is super messy. Not like this is anything cleaner, but this one is a lot more efficient with space. This one's pretty all over the place. And here's an example of a binary to decimal decoder. So we input the value in binary. Let's say, what's 8 plus 2 plus 1? So 11. This one is super fast. You just have to be sure not to click the inputs too quickly because, let's see if I can mess it up. I guess it, what? Actually works pretty good. But yeah, this is just the simple, every single possibility is displayed here. When we turn on this line, so this means that it is able, this is a case where it would be true. So let's say the 1 is turned on. The 1, if it's turned off, will power this line. So this will never happen. If this is off, this line will never be powered. But if it's on, this line is able to be unpowered, you know? It's, right now, this line, let's align with it. We turn off this one. As you can see, all 4 are turned off, so this line is turned on. If we turn one of these on, you can see the line is turned on, but now a different one of these lines is going to be turned off, and that is because only one thing is selected at a time. Over here, we have some experimenting with the 7-segment display, just with this little module right here. I really like this because it's pretty simple and easy to build, but I do want to try to figure out smaller ways of making it. Here's some different binary addition projects. We have just a simple 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 4. Pretty simple stuff right there. We have a couple of these little adders that I've played with to try to find the smallest version possible. As you can see, this is the prototype. These adders are super huge. I was able to shrink it down then to like this size where it's relatively small. And yeah, we've just been doing a lot of different things with binary, trying to make these calculators, trying to make different circuits. One thing with this one is you aren't able to input the same, well, you aren't able to, input 2 numbers on the top or 2 numbers on the bottom. If you do that, there's a good chance of it breaking, but as you can see right here, if I were to add a 1 and a 4, it technically would still work, or it technically would still do the addition, but I just haven't hooked up those outputs because it technically would be impossible to show. But you can see at least it's the 1 not going through. Let's put another 1. This is interesting. Oh, because the 1 is already being powered by the 9, so we can't put in another 1. But the 4 was able to be input. It just doesn't do anything because it wasn't encoded that way. And as you can see, because it wasn't encoded, it's going to give us an error because there is no line that will be turned off. Therefore, it cannot give us any response. So yeah, this was the binary calculator that I have created. If you guys enjoyed, please subscribe and like. I know these projects are pretty time consuming and also very difficult to be making, so I would appreciate just the support, just some more motivation to make this content. And yeah, bye.